Show me.
You know, we spend a lot of time talking about Hong Kong action specifically, and I mean, yeah, for good reason. The high pedigree, the grand quality of martial arts and action cinema was really set in Hong Kong. Some of the brightest stars of the action universe come from Hong Kong cinema. But other countries have definitely given Hong Kong a run for their money. In fact, some of the best martial arts films ever made were produced about 967 miles southwest of Hong Kong. When I say Thai action, your brain probably jumps to one man, Tony Jaa. And rightfully so. Tony Jaa is the biggest name to come out of Thailand. Way back in 2003, Tony Jaa broke out in the groundbreaking Ong-Bak. Ong-Bak does not feel that long ago. 2003? 2003. I was going into kindergarten in 2003. I'm sure some of you watching are a bit older than me and you're thinking, well, Jesus Christ, you're a child. But time is different. Perspective, you're whatever. Plenty of other martial artists took center stage in that decade. Stars like Zhizha Yanin, Dan Chupong, and Patrick Kazutang killed it over the years. Ong-Bak is a film regarded as one of the greatest martial arts films ever made, raising the bar for action films everywhere, and led to a fantastic decade-long run of Thai action films. But Tony Jaa remained the most recognizable star domestically and around the world. However, this video is not about Tony Jaa. This video is about a movie starring a man who came 20 years before. At the same time as people like Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, and many others in Hong Kong were truly taking their place at the top, Panaridikrai was working to cement his place in Thai action cinema. His fourth feature film and the topic for today was released in 1986. At the time, it was just a Thai film. I mean, it was an action-packed Thai film, but it was just a Thai film nonetheless. Little did they know it would hold far more significance than just being another movie from Thailand. Born to Fight follows Tong, a martial arts coach and former police officer who is recruited to find and save the lawyer of a wealthy family that has been kidnapped by a deadly gang known as the Green Dragons. Now look, the story here really is not important. Not every martial arts movie gets to be Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or The Raid 2. The Raid 2 was, The Godfather plus martial arts. Not every movie gets to be The Godfather. And that's okay. Sometimes you just want to watch a movie for the action. And I'm telling you, you really want to watch Born to Fight for the action. But what about it makes it so worth watching? Born to Fight's action is just so raw. It's this familiar balls-to-the-wall kinetic action you would see in a Jackie Chan or Sammo Hung style movie, but with the twist of focusing mostly on Muay Thai. Just like the films we're accustomed to from Hong Kong, nearly every hit is full contact. Like the films we would see from Thailand in the coming millennium, seeing elbows and knees fully connecting is kind of exhilarating. What makes it better is the authenticity of Panaridikrai. One of my favorite things about martial arts stars is watching them do something that they have clearly spent years molding their bodies to do. You can tell when an actor just learned how to throw a roundhouse a few weeks before filming, but when you see someone just own their role with complete conviction in their physicality, it can make even a mediocre film stand out. I feel like when people talk about acting performances, that's really the only time they ever talk about conviction. Daniel Day-Lewis showed such conviction, but we should really apply that to physicality too, because, I ain't gonna see Daniel Day-Lewis jump off a bus, do a backflip, and kick some dudes in the face. Panaridikrai as an on-screen martial artist deserves his role alongside the biggest names in the industry. With just one scene, he displayed his martial arts prowess in both practice and application, and he owns the screen with charisma and intensity just as well as Bruce Lee, Gordon Liu, or Scott Adkins. His Muay Boran is devastating, his Kung Fu is smooth, and his weapons work is mesmerizingly destructive. But perhaps my favorite thing about the action in Born to Fight is seeing the origins of so many things to come for Thai action. Born to Fight is not a film that needs homework. It is wholly entertaining on its own. However, having seen many of the films that would come throughout the 2000s, it was fun to see where the inspiration came from. Action set pieces I had seen done with large budgets, done with far more production, and maybe even less safety procedures. Now you see, Panaridikrai was not just an action star in the 80s. He, with the help of his stunt team, Muay Thai Stunt, would either direct or choreograph or be pretty high up in charge with modern Thai action films throughout the 2000s. His influence was all over nearly every big action film. And having a bigger budget and a more experienced crew meant that he could give some of his old bits another try. Anyone who has seen Ong-Bak remembers hits or stunts that were so nuts that the movie couldn't help but show them 2 or 3 more times. Well, this is something that Born to Fight does quite a few times. Several times throughout the film, we see Ridikrai land massive strikes that need a replay, or stuntmen take crazy falls that demand further review. The opening action sequence, in which Ridikrai demonstrates several different styles and weapons before taking on assailants with said styles and weapons, is masterful and reminds me of Tony Jaa's first bit of action in Ong-Bak 2, in which Jaa must prove his competence in various styles in order to pass some sort of trials. Someone even gets stomped through a wooden floor like it's the final fight of Ong-Bak 1. Perhaps the most glaring stunt that would appear is a short back and forth with flaming 2x4s. In Born to Fight, it's not really anything to write home about, but in the 2004 Born to Fight, which I really wouldn't call a remake as it has a totally different plot, there is a fight with some flaming 2x4s that looks astounding. They are just taking hits as flames and sparks fly with every swing and impact. All of the stunts and bits I mentioned here are definitely done better in their second attempts, but Ridikrai's take is still awesome, and I love seeing where some of my favorite pieces of action stemmed from. At first glance, Born to Fight looks like just another movie. Every year, hundreds, potentially thousands of movies are made and released, and they're not all really worth anything. We all know those films that were maybe just made to put money in someone's pocket, or just disgusting cash grabs, or maybe even movies that stemmed from some sort of visual potential, but were just deconstructed in production. Desecrated, maybe a better word. And we can all think of clips from low-budget, foreign, and even American films that really kind of only exist on the internet for us to laugh at. But Born to Fight stands above the rest for more than just being a quality action film. It's a film that breeds legacy. You see, way back in 1986, when this little Thai film was released, a young boy in Thailand went to see it. He saw something that he thought only people like Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee could do. But this time, it was done by someone who looked like him and spoke the same language as him. And from that day forward, that little boy knew exactly what he was going to do with his life. That little boy was going to be an action star. And his name was Tony Jaa. Tony Jaa would not only be the action star that he aspired to be, but he would do it all with Panaridikrai as his mentor. Even if you watch Born to Fight, and you get nothing from it, I think you can appreciate how even a silly, low-budget action movie like Born to Fight can inspire someone to do something completely revolutionary. That is the power of film. Even the most random movie from anywhere in the world has inspired someone to pursue greatness. Born to Fight is of its time, but stands atop the action mountain with the martial arts films of its generation. Its star deserves to fight alongside his contemporaries of any decade or country, and Born to Fight's legacy has proven to be one of the greatest of any film, no matter the genre.